Okay, reading for today. What you be, you exude. You cannot be joyful without spreading your joy. You cannot be sad without spreading your sadness. You cannot be well without spreading your wellness. You cannot be sick without spreading your sickness. You cannot be poor without spreading your poverty. You cannot be prosperous without spreading your prosperity. Whatever you be, you exude to the ends of the universe. The entire universe benefits by that which you be. Contagious. Everything we do is contagious. Not realize that. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just open the book. This is the one between Wayne Dyer and Abraham. And it says, "Is there a hell?" Speaking of hell, Wayne asks, "Does such a thing exist?" And Abraham answers, "Only in the minds of disconnected humans. The animals don't know of it. Only humans who pinch themselves off from clarity. When you call confusion a sort of hell, when you call lethargy a sort of hell." And I'm remembering from something I was listening to this morning by Earl Nightingale. He said, remember that the thing that sets you apart from animals is your mind. Our minds work differently than the animals. And I got that. I was like, that is something that sets us apart. Now, I don't believe that any of us die. I think animals and all life continues and just changes form. But so I don't think there's a separation that way, but I think there is something different. There's a power we have. Wayne says, people who have behaved in horrific ways is their punishment when they leave this earthly plane. Abraham says, humans are often disappointed when we tell them that this is not the case. Your punishment is self-inflicted as you deprive yourself of the energy of source, which is available to you at all times. When you disallow that, it is very unpleasant. But when you reemerge back in a non-physical, you will leave behind all doubt and fear, grudges, hatred, misunderstanding, and you will become a vibrational equivalent to all that this life and before has caused you to become. Wow, I'm realizing, just side note, where I'm tracking here. I'm becoming conscious of it in a whole new way. The dishwasher was sort of irritating me, so I realized I'm around irritation, and then I just had a thought of these videos and uploading them and felt completely overwhelmed. And so that means I'm at 10 and 11. I've never been aware of stuff like that before, and I was just thinking about how my set point was worry. So that means I'm coming up, which is good. The readings are probably bringing me up. But despite where I'm at, that's new, and that's pretty cool that I'm suddenly becoming conscious of where I'm at. So I think I'm just gonna open to here. Open a good standard textbook on quantum theory. The world cannot be analyzed correctly into distinct parts. Instead, it must be regarded as an indivisible unit in which separate parts appear as valid approximations only in the classical or Newtonian limit. Thus, at the quantum level of accuracy, an object does not have any intrinsic properties, for instance, wave or particle, belonging to itself alone. Instead, it shares all its properties mutually and indivisibly with the systems with which it interacts. Moreover, because a given object, such as an electron, interacts at different times with different systems that bring out different potentialities, it undergoes continual transformation between the various forms, for instance, wave or particle form, in which it can manifest itself. It's talking about vibration being translated into the physical. Although such fluidity and dependence of form on the environment have not been found before the advent of quantum theory at the level of elementary particles and physics, they are not uncommon in fields such as biology, which deal with complex systems. Thus, under suitable environmental conditions, a bacterium can develop into a spore stage, which is completely different in structure, and vice versa. Then there is the other complementary side of the picture as presented by the eminent biophysicist Erwin Schrödinger. It is not possible that this unity of knowledge, feeling, and choice, which you call your own, should have sprung into being from nothingness at a given moment not so long ago. Rather, this knowledge, feeling, and choice are essentially eternal and unchangeable, and numerically one in all man, nay, in all sensitive beings. But not in this sense, that you are a piece of an eternal infinite being, an aspect or modification of it, as in Spinoza's pantheism. For we should have the same baffling question: which part, which aspect are you? What objectively differentiates it from the others? No. But inconceivable as it seems to ordinary reason, you and all other conscious beings as such are all in all. Hence, this life of yours which you are living is not merely a piece of the entire existence, but is in a certain sense the whole. Only this whole is not so constituted that it can be surveyed in one single glance. The universe implies the organism, and each single organism implies the universe. This is Alan Watts talking now. Only the single glance of our spotlight, narrowed attention, which has been taught to confuse its glimpses with separate things, must somehow be open to the full vision, which Schrödinger goes on to suggest. Thus you can throw yourself flat on the ground, stretched out upon Mother Earth, with the certain conviction that you are one with her and she is with you. You are as firmly established, as invulnerable as she, indeed 1,000 times firmer and more invulnerable. As surely as she will engulf you tomorrow, so surely will she bring you forth anew, to new striving and suffering. And not merely someday, now, today, every day, she is bringing you forth, not once, but thousands upon thousands of times, just as every day she engulfs you 1,000 times over. For eternally and always there is only now, one and the same now. The present is the only thing that has no end. This is making me think of something I just read on this Neville Goddard book that I'm going to throw in here that I think is fascinating and applies in a different language. There are two actual outlooks on the world possessed by everyone, a natural focus and a spiritual focus. The ancient teachers called the one the carnal mind and the other the mind of Christ. We may differentiate them as ordinary waking consciousness governed by our senses and a controlled imagination governed by desire. We recognize these two distinct centers of thought in this statement, and it quotes the Bible. The natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, for they are spiritually discerned. The natural view, he goes on to say, confines reality to the moment called now. To the natural view, the past and future are purely imaginary. The spiritual view, on the other hand, sees the contents of time. It sees events as distinct and separated as objects in space. The past and future are a present whole to the spiritual view. What is mental and subjective to the natural man is concrete and objective to the spiritual man. The habit of seeing only that which our senses permit rends us totally blind to what we otherwise could see. To cultivate the faculty of seeing the invisible, we should often deliberately disentangle our minds from the evidence of the senses and focus our attention on an invisible state, mentally feeling it and sensing it until it has all the distinctness of reality. We have but to concentrate on the state desired in order to see it. So this is saying that our spiritual being, our inner being, which is getting back to Abraham, can see the past, present, and future as one whole now. That's the eternal moment, contains all of it. It's now. This is why Abraham would say all the time that they, the non-physical, are experiencing our growth that we haven't seen yet in the now. They can experience it and celebrate it because the spiritual mind sees it all. But in order for us to begin to access that and bring that here, we need to meditate, which this is getting at, and we need to start appreciating. This was my review lesson from the Course in Miracles today. It reviews 5 things, which gets right down to this. It says, I'm determined to see things differently. I can escape from this world by giving up attack thoughts. And it says right here, herein lies salvation and nowhere else. Without attack thoughts, which I changed to judgment or criticism, so without judgmental or critical thoughts, I could not see a world of attack, which obviously we're observing all the time. As forgiveness allows love to return to my awareness, I will see a world of peace and safety and joy. And it is this I choose to see in place of what I look on now. But in order to choose to see that, I gotta get up on this emotional scale. And that's where it will be revealed to me. And so I'm gonna take this reading. I'm gonna go out into the world today and I'm gonna focus on appreciating everything that I see. And if I get upset, Course in Miracles, I was thinking I could just focus on something that I love or appreciate about the situation, which will work. But if I get hung up, I'm going to say, I forgive this. Why not? It says it here. I'll give it a go. Like when the window is open and the wind is blowing the blind and it's banging and I'm getting annoyed. I can't really feel great when I focus on that, but I could build a bridge because I got annoyed and I'm like slamming the window shut because it's been bothering me. I could say, even though it sounds absurd, I forgive the wind for blowing and knocking that blind. And I forgive myself for getting annoyed with it. And something appreciative. I love myself for acknowledging this moment. And I really appreciate the wind for cooling things off and blowing that tree in such a beautiful way that I can look at. Why not? I don't know about you, but I'm about overseeing a world of attack, and I have to forgive that too. I forgive this world of attack. I forgive myself for generating or seeing this world of attack, and I'm so grateful that I'm seeing it and realizing that I am creating it because it gives me the power to replace it with love. Wish me luck.